Welcome to the show, everyone. I absolutely love my show. I love it for all the information that people get that when they listen to the show. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. I got a newbie with me. I got with me Jan Simon, and he's the owner of Foundation Insurance Services. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody first a little bit about yourself, what you do, and about your podcast that you have as well.
Okay, well, Carol, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. So as you said, I own Foundation Insurance Services. We specialize in insurance for businesses, mostly construction and contractors trades, but we are really a generalist in the business realm. Do a very little bit of personal insurance, but the majority of that is for our business clients. As they come to us and say, hey, I don't want to talk to anybody else, will you take care of it? And then about a year ago, through dealing with businesses for the last 30 years, I got to the point where I was going to networking groups, and insurance is not always the most exciting thing to talk about. So I thought, what if I start a podcast where I can talk to people about their businesses and how they got started? And so I have a podcast called Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation, and you can find it on all the streaming platforms, YouTube, and Spotify, and all of those. And yeah, we talk to business owners, talk about their origin stories.
Well, businesses. I got to talk to you a little bit about business insurance.
Okay.
And how important that is for businesses to have.
Yes.
Go ahead, tell them.
Yeah, so our philosophy, or my philosophy, I should say, although I am always looking to try to help my clients find the most economical solution for their insurance, I feel my job is, as a consultant, to find them the right coverage for their business, right? We all work very, very hard to start a business, run a business, grow a business, scale it, get employees, and take care of the day-to-day operations. And if and when something happens, we want to make sure that there's proper coverage in place. And I feel my job is to make sure you have proper coverage versus I'm just going to go find the next cheapest thing. And so we work very closely with our clients to establish and develop the relationships, get to know them first, a lot of times before we actually even ever write policies for them. And then through that process, understand what their business is and what they're trying to do with their business, where they're going to go, and then try to do our very best to write the correct policies for them, and then obviously try to save them money if we can, but that's not our primary focus.
So let's say somebody's been in business for a little while, and they're listening here, and they say, I probably should do something like that, where I should make sure I'm covered. Peace of mind. Is it okay to call at any time, or how does that work?
I mean, there's a number of ways to look at it, and we always look to have clients call us and start early. So if somebody's up against their renewal, and they've gotten their renewal, usually that's within 30 days of when the actual policy renews. Sometimes, depending on the complexity of the client, that cannot be enough time for us to do what we need to do from a due diligence perspective. However, there are times where we can move very quickly to make sure that we get the client over if they don't have a relationship with their current agent. But at any point, I always tell people, look, I'm a consultant. I'm here free of charge to you. My job is to just make sure you have the right coverage. So even if I sit down with somebody and I say, let's look at what you currently have. Tell me what it is that your business does, how you operate, and where it's going, where you're trying to go. I will look at the coverages that you currently have and tell you whether it's the correct coverage, or if I think there's something you should adjust with your current agent, or if you don't have a relationship, hey, let's bring it in-house and let me manage it, and then we'll make sure that we get, hopefully, the proper coverages in place.
It's so important.
Yeah.
I can only tell you folks out there, I had the situation where I was in business probably about 15 years, maybe a little bit less, and something happened. I mean, it didn't go anywhere, which is really good, but then it was like, I should probably have business insurance, right?
Yeah.
And so I did. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. It really can.
Absolutely, and those are the things we try to impress upon people. It's like, look, insurance is the necessary evil, right? Behind the door. I don't like paying my insurance rates. and my premiums. I mean,
Who does?
It's one of those things that I hope I never need it, right? But I'm banking on the fact that if I do, I have the proper coverage in place so that, yes, there's going to be a bump in the road, there's going to be things, if my house burns to the ground, I'm gonna lose stuff that I don't wanna lose. But hopefully, the insurance company will step in and pay to rebuild my house, and then I can move on with my life without a lot of money out of pocket. So that distribution of, or the distribution of the loss over, many people is what we try to do, and we try to help people. So, and a lot of people say, that's never gonna happen to me. I could tell you story after story of where it has, so.
It happens all the time.
Mhm.
Now, for people who only think that insurance is something they have to buy, how do you explain what you actually do for your clients?
So there are specific things that you need by law, right, or by contract that you have to have. So let's talk about a business that's moving into a building. A lot of times we get calls and the client's like, hey, look, I'm moving into this building, they require a certificate of insurance, don't know what that is, but I need it. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about what you do as a business. And that general liability piece, which is really the foundation of all business insurance that builds off of that, is kind of required if you are in business with regards to what you're doing. It comes to light when you're moving into some place, or you're signing a contract and somebody wants it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Workers' compensation is one that's required by law. If you have an employee, whether it's a 1099 employee or a W-2 employee, you're required by law to carry workers' compensation insurance. And there's things that can happen and ways to, I guess, possibly push that off. But that is there in a requirement. Auto insurance, we're required by law to have auto insurance as a business and as an individual in the state of Arizona. So there's things that are required. But then we will take a look and we'll say, look, here's the required pieces. Here's the stuff you have to open your door today. Here's the things I think you should have. And I understand cash flow as a business owner, right? Making sure that we're running in the black all the time. So how do I then present to you the exposures that are there, and how do we make sure that you know from a roadmap perspective what you should have versus what you have to have?
It's so important to have somebody also who is, like, you're gonna educate the client, I think is what I'm hearing from you, but making sure that, because you know what they need, is very important, that you don't, do a lot of people try and do this on their own?
Yes. A lot of people try to go online and get it,
Yeah.
because they hear, come save money, save money, save
Yeah,
money, and we
yeah.
get it in our head that we should just be saving money, or that we know what we think we need. And I would argue that's not the case.
Yeah, I know, most people, please don't do it on your own. His phone number is 480-999-2088. His website is found-ins for insurance, so ins.com. He works statewide, and this is a free service to you. If you own a business,
Yeah.
you need to look into making sure that you have peace of mind and coverage for, God forbid, something happens.
Yes.
We're gonna go to a break, we're gonna come back and talk further.
Okay.
Tell them your podcast one more time.
Podcast is Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation, and you can find that at abovebeyondpodcast.com.
And if, you know what's really fun is that you can even go onto Facebook right now, if you're, don't do it while you're driving, and put in Networking Arizona and watch us in here live doing it. It's really fun to do. I think the main thing is when you own a business, I think also people think if they have been in business for a while, oh well, it's too late, right?
Right.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
You want to make sure that you are covered correctly. His phone number again, it's 480-999-2088. It's found-ins.com. Okay, that's how fast that went.
Awesome.
And we only did one question.
Yeah. Trying to talk some.
That's okay, but I also asked you some questions, and I hope you're okay that I did that.
Absolutely,
Because I
absolutely.
think you kind of opened it up a little bit,
Yep.
right? Okay. With what you do, how many times when you work with people, most of the people that you work with, they don't have the insurance. Do they do something after something has happened, when like crisis hit, when do they call?
It depends. I mean, some people will wait until after it happens, or some people have tried to do things on their own, and then they start growing and they get to a point where it's like they just don't know if they've got what is right, or they've signed a contract, like a construction contract, where it's like all of a sudden they're like, okay, they're asking me for something that I have no clue what it is, or they're asking me for higher limits, or whatever that comes down to, and then we'll step in and help them, not necessarily negotiate the contracts, but we'll help them understand what it is that's being asked.
So if they have a contract already, is what
Mhm.
you're saying, you can actually go over that, like
We
and
go
see
over
what they have?
Yeah, we go over the insuring clause of the contract, so we're not legal, right, we're not attorneys, but we can look at the insuring clause, or the indemnification
sure that
clause,
they have.
to make sure that they have what they should
Mhm.
before they sign it. And I ask all my clients,
okay.
I say, hey, look, before you sign any new contracts, whether it's a rental contract, a new job contract, or, you know, anything from a manufacturing perspective, or whatever it is, let us look at the insuring clause, because I'm gonna be able to tell you, number one, do you currently have the coverages they're requesting? Number two, what do we need to change? And number three, if they're asking for something that doesn't apply to you, you don't wanna just go buy that because it says that on the contract. So how do we negotiate that out of the contract?
So when we open up with the show again, I would
Mhm.
like to have you say that.
Okay.
Because I think it's an interesting thing that
Yeah.
you do, okay?
Sure.
So when you're hearing these ads here, what's really cool is everybody gets to do them in their own voice.
Yeah,
So it's really fun,
that's awesome.
and yeah, it's really a lot of fun.
Insurance plans tell you you're covered. What they don't tell you is what you still owe. Whether you're on Medicare Advantage, a supplement, Obamacare, or a deductible plan.
How many, you have every day you record?
Every day we record this a live show.
Well, that's what I mean. is you-
Yeah, every day, Monday through Friday.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So welcome back, everyone. We're speaking with, right now, Jan Simon, and he's the owner of Foundation Insurance Services. He also has a podcast. Again, this one here, I'm going to say it, it's Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation, and you can get it on all the podcast platforms that are out there.
Yep.
We're talking right now about business insurance and how
Yes.
important that is. One of the things that I had asked you is at the break, when we're
Mhm.
talking on Facebook land out there, that, you know, can you speak to somebody who already has, let's say, business insurance, and see if they do have the right coverage, and what
Yeah.
did you say?
Yeah, so what we were talking about is, can people come to me, a lot of times when people come to me, they're looking for, do I have the right coverage? I'm signing a contract, what's going on? And we always try to get our clients to provide us a copy of the contract prior to signing it, because we'll look at the insuring clause, or what's called the indemnification clause, in the contract to do three things. One, look to make sure they currently have the coverage that they need. Two, if they don't, what do we need to do to match that coverage? And three, if there's a coverage that's being requested that doesn't apply to the client, we need to help them understand how they can negotiate that out. And we do it quite successfully most of the time.
It's amazing. His phone number is 480-999-2088, and the website is found-insure. So it's found-ins.com. So what made you choose insurance?
I think insurance chose me, actually. So I went to school not to do insurance. And then I was looking for a job in 1996 and fell into insurance. And I've been here ever since.
Really? I
Yeah.
think people, when they do it, they love it.
It's been a great life for me. And I've done everything from claims. I started in claims. Handling that, understanding the back end of how the policies actually work, or should work, and then got into sales and agency ownership and have been kind of seen and done a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know everything, but I know how to find the answers and have a lot of great connections that help us do our job.
What would you say makes you and your agency different?
I would say just that, the experience. A lot of agents step into selling insurance because it's a sales job, right? I started in the insurance understanding how the back end of the policy is supposed to respond when you have an accident or when you have a claim. Learning property claims and auto claims and long haul trucking and just really understanding that aspect of it, understanding that the job is not about selling another policy. The job is about helping the client get what they need so that when something happens, hopefully we've thought of what the most catastrophic thing and even the small thing is, and we've put something in place to help offload whatever that financial burden is because of it.
So tell me again, you kind of, you said construction and,
So construction and contractors, we do schools and nonprofit, and then we also do quite a bit of like restaurants and hotels and hospitality
Okay.
type industries.
so business owners that are out there right now, if
Mhm.
it's a small business,
Yeah.
what do you tell them if they call?
I will let them know that again, I would like to see if they have insurance, I wanna see what it is. And it's not because I wanna see what the price is, which is what a lot of agents will do. They'll say, let me see the price, and let me see if I can beat your price. I wanna see the coverages that you currently have in place, so I can wrap my head around, when I come back to you and say, these are the things that I think you should have, I know if I'm swimming upstream because you don't have a specific coverage. Like if you have employees and you have no employment practices liability, which is wrongful termination, wrongful hiring practices, sexual abuse, and different things like that happen in and around the water tank, those types of things, I can talk to you and say, look, I'm adding this in, and it's a choice to have it, but it's something you should have.
So can any business call you?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanna make sure.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Yep. I will take anybody, and that actually differentiates me a little bit too, because a lot of agents will focus only on large commercial clients. If they work for a large shop, and I won't name the large shops, but if they work for a large shop, more than likely they're not getting compensated if they don't sell the big accounts. Whereas for us, I'll take somebody who's thinking about starting a business, kicking tires, and I'll take, all the way up. So I have a wide range from solopreneurs all the way up to 100 and some employees.
I think it's so important, really. And main thing is that you have to realize it's not something that you do just when you start a business. It's when, even if you're 5 years, 10 years into it and you don't have it, you need it.
Right.
You absolutely
And at
need
least
it.
have a conversation with somebody that's not looking to sell you a policy. I am not the right agent for everybody. I know that, but I will inform people and happily have conversations and probably spend way too much time on the phone just educating.
But that's cool.
So,
Yeah, so his phone number again, it's 480-999-2088, found-ins.com. He works statewide. It is a free service to you. It really does make sense to make sure that you're covered, make sure that you have the right, and I know what I was gonna ask you. I was went out of my head for a minute. I wanted to ask you too, and I'm sure you've been in this business for a really long time. Have you seen a difference where, like you mentioned, sexual harassment,
yes.
I mean, years ago, we didn't even think about that kind of stuff.
No, yeah,
Now everything
it has become such a prevalent idea, I guess if you will, in the workplace. And there's a few things that feed into it, but Arizona and most states now, people get their feelings hurt
I was just gonna
very
say
easily.
that. How you talk to now a person.
Right. It used to be, and I
Much
don't want to
easier.
offend anybody, but it used to be that you could joke around on the job site, and I will call it joking around. Now, there's a point at which it goes too far,
Right, obviously.
But you used to be able to joke around. Now, today, you just don't know. Like, you don't know if I come in and I go, oh my God, I heard this really funny joke this weekend, and I tell you the joke thinking no harm, no foul, and then you're offended by the joke because it had to do with some religious or sexual thing. It's like, I'm just having fun, and I think, oh my God, this is hilarious, and I heard this. You get offended. You go to the boss, say, hey, this is a hostile work environment. I'm filing a lawsuit. I mean, it's crazy the things that we see.
I'm sure.
And even the injury stuff these days, I mean, everybody I think is wanting a quick paycheck, and no offense to any of the attorneys that are out there, but we've become a very litigious society, and people are looking to get a quick buck.
You know, I agree, and it's scary out there. But you have to make sure you're covered
Yes.
with that kind of thing. I'm sure it's huge, and
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be even something that you say like that. You could have somebody who's pregnant, you touch their tummy,
Right.
you know, little things that
You
can
brushed
just.
up against someone,
yeah.
and they like,
You gotta
know,
be careful.
they did it twice today. It's like,
I'm gonna go and sue.
Yeah.
Okay, so when someone works with you or your agency, what do you hope they feel that may be different from other insurance experiences that they've had? What do you want from them?
I hope that they take away that I'm not here to sell them a policy. Yes, that's how I make money. I make money by selling you an insurance policy. But I want you to feel completely comfortable in making the decision that's right for you. And I hope you walk away feeling like, hey, Jan cared enough about me and my business that it wasn't about selling me something. Yes, I have to provide you a quote that has all the numbers. But really at the end of the day, it's, I'm here to help you navigate all of this craziness called insurance.
So what does relationship-driven insurance mean?
So just that, the relationship always comes first, right? I have clients who've come and gone and come back again because they're not getting, whether it's the level of service or they want to have communication with their agent, whatever it is, relationship is always first. I feel like insurance is what I do, it's not who I am. It's how I make my living, and at the end of the day, I want people to look at me and say, that's a person that I would just love to be around. And so that's what relationship is to me.
I think it's wonderful that you do it like that because I think caring really makes a difference today because I don't think a lot of people do, you know?
I think it's getting less and less.
It is, and the world has changed.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're a little older, right, and you own a business, and some things were, when you were a kid, you could say all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Now today, you gotta watch your P's and Q's and every little thing.
Yeah.
If you own a business, and he said, even if you're a solopreneur, you can work with him.
Yeah.
Okay, and he wants to help you make sure, first of all, if you don't have it, you should have it.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, make sure that you have the right coverage for you. It's important. Again, you can check him out on his website. It is found-ins.com. His phone number is 480-999-2088.